My name is Rustem Begenov. I'm one of two members of ORTA from Kazakhstan. The other member is Alexandra Morozova. So we came here to Seoul to participate in the 13th Seoul Media City Biennale. We do projects that are on the border of theater and contemporary art. Besides that, we publish books, we do podcasts, exhibitions, and installations, sometimes video and audio art. So this is what we do. So the title is The New Genius Experience of the Great Atomic Bomb Reflector. So this is the long title of the project. This performance is actually, as we call it, a device. We will try to involve audience that come to the show in order for us to do what we call a treatment of atomic inhumanity. So this is actually the aim of this performance. So it's a real device. Collectively, we will do such things that may sound like a fiction, or they may sound like a joke, but they are not. This is the power of theater and power of imagination. So we invite all the people to bring in their imagination so we can together imagine the new world and imagine how we can change the bad things in this world. So the atomic bomb reflector was an invention invented by such artist and thinker and writer as Sergei Kalmykov. He is from Almaty, Kazakhstan. This is our city, so he's from there. And he invented this invention back in 1930s when there was still no atomic bomb. But already he made this invention that would transform the destructive atomic energy into creative energy. So we found his inventions in his manuscripts that are kept now in Kazakhstan State Archive. And we decided to embody, to make it true. And now we try to make them into life, because now we definitely need these inventions, you know. That's why we use the title Atomic Bomb Reflector. But at the same time, as artists, we don't like representation. That's why sometimes even we say that what we do is not art, because we don't try to make some images and we don't try to make some representations of some problems, but we try to make like the real functioning devices. So this is what we try to do. The bomb reflector is a really complex device. It operates on special particles called genions. Genions is particles of genius that present in every person. Of course, now we don't have physical devices to measure the genions, but they are there. You can be sure, you can believe us. We have to use the word the new because for now, it's the new understanding of the word genius. 50 years from now, people will know that this is the right understanding. So we can get rid of this new word and we will just say the genius. But for now, when you say to people genius, everyone will say that, oh no, why? I call myself genius and I'm genius. No, it's not like that. So we have to say, okay, it's the new understanding of the word genius. That's why we say the new genius. In history, for example, people knew that there were atoms. They could not register it. But they knew that they were, even 100 years before they could register it with the device. Same thing with genions. Maybe someday we will have the devices to register them. So the genions, the particles, we found it in 2022 when we did the pavilion of Kazakhstan at the Venice Biennale. So in this pavilion, we created a center for the new genius. So it was a big scientific center, and we did a lot of experiments there. And during these experiments, we found the existence of such particles. So they can be active in the person, or they can be passive. And in some people, they are active like by nature or from the beginning, and some people can activate, but everyone can activate these particles. And when you activate these particles, you do genius things. And actually, even it's not you do, they do, these particles do. You just have to connect to them and then let them work, you know? So everybody who comes to this experience, they will go through different stages. The first stage will be to connect to their genius. And we all have genius. You have genius, I have genius. We just need to connect to them. And then when you connect to your genius, then people will go through the stage. It's called atomic inhumanity. It's the stage where we all will have to face, to encounter the horrors of all the testings and all the atomic testings that were done to Kazakhstan. After this stage, we will have the stage of grief or mourning which means that one has to reflect on the horrors that we as humans did. After that, we will try to transform this energy of grief, this energy of horrors, into this energy of genius that can change the world and uplift the world. So we use flash strong instrument. He is our guide performer, Alexandra Morozova, because in 2018 we created a device, it's called Svetopredstavlение. During the launch of the device, she encountered something and we didn't know what was that. So she got this experience in directly connecting to the universal composition. That's when the universal composition was discovered by us. After we do this transformation, we will get to emanate our genions, let's say, into the air. And after we do this emanation, we will send them through this portal. The genions will go and they will irradiate the core of such a phenomenon as war. Imagine that our visible world is just a projection of some higher dimension. There is actually a very nice novel, it's called Flatland. The Flatland, everybody lived on a flat surface in second dimension, and then I think some object from third dimension came to them. But they don't see it as third dimension, so they see only a projection. For example, the projection of a sphere on a second dimension would be a circle, right? So in the same way, we can imagine that there is a higher dimension compared to our dimension. So the third dimension could be just a projection. So you, me, everybody, the things, the objects, the events here can be seen only as a projections of some higher things, you know? So this higher dimension, we call it the universal composition. It's not just something solid. Composition is a process. And when we compose, the composition is something we can all together compose. We can fantasize. And when we compose it, it becomes true. So we call it the universal composition. We believe that things actually happen there. And here in our visible world, we only see the projections of the things. Many religions talk about that. Some things like quantum physics, you know, everybody was like, oh yes, quantum physics. Quantum psychology, quantum everything. Okay, what quantum physics says? The one very common illustration that they bring is like this. Let's say you are going into a journey. You packed your suitcase, you put one shoe, and another shoe you just left at home accidentally. So you went to New York City, and you left one shoe at home, and another shoe is in your suitcase. So you landed in New York City, went to your hotel room, opened your suitcase, and you look at your shoe. Before this moment, you don't know what shoe you left at home. Nobody knows what shoe is in your home. But as soon as you open your suitcase and you see that you have the right shoe, immediately that shoe at your home became left. Immediately, in no time. So this is the quantum physics. But actually what quantum physics says is that there is another dimension where information can travel. The universal composition is the same dimension. Which means that if you want to affect the visible world, you can do it through this higher dimension, through universal composition. Genius is the person who can operate in the universal composition. When we say that, oh, Mozart's music was genius, we say because it affects us beyond our ears. His music does something to us. We cannot explain it, but it does something more than just listening, because it operates in the universal composition. It's not just the number of sounds, it's something outside of this physical acoustics. And people call it genius. But we say not only Mozart could do it, anyone can do it. If I want to affect the reality, I can do it through universal composition. All I need is to make my genius and my genions work. Okay, so why we need audience? We need audience because we know that we will create the situation there where the audience will give their genius and we will all together fight this phenomenon of war. The possibility of how people, even adults, into the childhood state. Like when they were kids and they were playing the games and they believed in these games, and actually they were changing the world. But at one point we all become adults, we stop believing these things, and we think, oh, these games are nothing. But theater is a place where we can play these games, and these games actually, they do change the world. Maybe it would be good if audience would get this belief and saw this possibility of being able to play as like they played when they were young. The end of the project is this device, and this device will be launched in Kazakhstan. So after making the whole circle around the world, we will come to Kazakhstan, and we'll probably have all of the people all around the world come to Kazakhstan. Maybe thousands of people. We will all have to make this spectacular device. So in this way, we will create the great atomic bomb reflector. Maybe we die before it's created. Who knows? Who knows? Maybe it takes 100 years. But of course, we aim to do it as fast as possible. And when it is launched, we believe that it will change the world. There will be no war. This will be the success of the project. Either we see it or not. Maybe the war will start to disappear. If everyone involved in the project believes that it's launched, then it is launched, like the genius. Nobody from outside can tell you if you are genius or you are not genius. Only you can know if you are genius or not, because genius is a practice. It's not assessment, you know? If he or she practices genius, then he or she is genius. If millions of people believe they are genius, we live in a genius world. Only on you. If you call yourself genius, you are genius. Everybody can be genius.